Holy shit, y'all! Representative Al Green just introduced House Resolution 415 to impeach DJT. And I took a look at it so you don't have to. Here are all the main takeaways. Okay, so the overarching theme of HR 415 is that Trump essentially abused his presidential power to act as a self-serving authoritarian instead of a leader that is beholden to the Constitution. With the specific legal and constitutional violations made by Trump being things like violating due process, defying judges, threatening judges, and overall just undermining democratic institutions. So in essence, the one formal article of impeachment is about him being an authoritarian and abusing his overall presidential power. And then those things that I just listed are like the mechanisms through which he did that.
Georgia Senator Jon Ossoff has called for Trump's impeachment, and it's about time. As we are all well aware, Trump has done a long list of impeachable offenses, so it is about time that someone is actually calling for his impeachment. I have hundreds of thousands of followers all over the world who are incredibly confused why Trump is president and how he was even able to be elected in the first place. So I'm going to take what the senator has done as a great sign. And in the meantime, we are going to continue our massive protests here in the United States. I know that most people around the world are not seeing the coverage of the massive protests that are taking place every single weekend here in the US. But those of us who did not vote for this are doing our very best to fight back.
What's up, YouTube family? Welcome back to my space. This is Evans Raiola. Guys, thank you so much for tuning to watch today's episode. I do not take your support for granted. So guys, on today's video, we want to talk about the alleged motion to try and impeach Donald Trump in 2025. Guys, Americans have been complaining a lot. We've seen Americans cry live on video over the cost of living. We've seen Latinos complain how they stood with Donald Trump, and right now they are facing a lot of mass deportation. People are also complaining, about Donald Trump taking in white South Africans to be permanent refugees in America, and yet they are not facing any danger in their country. They are not going through famine. There are no any wars in their country. People are wondering what is happening. Since when has it been so easy to get an opportunity, to settle in America, while some Americans are still being attacked by ICE officials, who are sent to try and arrest people who are in America illegally. They're even confused and also arresting American citizens. And Americans are tired and are saying enough is enough. And right now, there's an alleged motion that is trying to impeach Donald Trump in 2025. So guys, I wanted to watch this series of videos I've compiled for you after this speech. Then you'll get to understand what the Americans are thinking about the impeachment of Donald Trump. So guys, once the videos are done, we will get back and do a critical analysis about the same. Let's watch this together, family.
It's time to speak up. The first senator has now called for Trump's impeachment. Jon Ossoff of Georgia has said that this president has met the threshold for impeachment, and he is calling for his impeachment. We have the first senator stepping up to actually do what we know needs to be done. So now, all of you, call every senator and every representative that you have and tell them we demand them join Senator Ossoff, because we all believe that he needs to be impeached. So everybody be aware. Use the 5-call app. If you don't have it, get it. It's easy, and it will help you get the numbers to go directly to your representative's office. Let's support this. And everybody send a shout out to Jon Ossoff that, we've been waiting for this for months, but, better late than never, buddy. Thanks for stepping up and doing it. And go out there and love your neighbor.
Georgia Senator Jon Ossoff has called for Trump's impeachment, and it's about time. As we are all well aware, Trump has done a long list of impeachable offenses, so it is about time that someone is actually calling for his impeachment. I have hundreds of thousands of followers all over the world who are incredibly confused why Trump is president and how he was even able to be elected in the first place. So I'm going to take what the senator has done as a great sign. And in the meantime, we are going to continue our massive protests here in the United States. I know that most people around the world are not seeing the coverage of the massive protests that are taking place every single weekend here in the US. But those of us who did not vote for this are doing our very best to fight back against this disgusting administration.
And finally, 7 articles of impeachment have been filed against Donald Trump. These include charges for tyranny, bribery, abuse of power, and unlawful moves with his husband, Elania Muskrat. Fucking finally. And now we get to see which Republicans are going to be complicit in keeping this constitutional crisis alive. And if you watched this far, just comment what time you saw this amazing news.
Folks, enough is enough. For the third time in our nation's history, Donald Trump faces articles of impeachment because he's still a clear and present danger to our Constitution. He's abused his power, defied our courts, violated the First Amendment, and sold out our justice system for his own political gain. And he's deporting Americans with no due process and cozying up to billionaires like Elon Musk while stripping power from Congress. That's not leadership, that's tyranny. And let me be clear, silence from Congress is complicity. I'm running for Congress because we must draw the line. If Trump can violate the law with impunity, then democracy dies. It's time to stop being afraid of his base and start standing up for our country. I will not back down, and I will not sell out. Let's defend the Constitution. Let's impeach Donald Trump, and let's take back our democracy.
Donald Trump and the Republicans are showing just how afraid they are for the midterm elections, knowing that if Democrats win the House and the Senate, which they can do both, that Donald Trump's going to go for a third impeachment and maybe third time's a charm. And they recognize this. Now, Mike Johnson and Trump have been meeting privately to talk about House midterms and how they are going to be able to keep those, what they need to do to keep the Democrats from flipping the House. And he's also been meeting with Rick Scott about what they need to do in the Senate to keep Democrats from flipping the House, including Rick Scott flying to Atlanta to meet with Georgia Governor Brian Kemp to attempt to convince him to run for the Senate instead of Marjorie Taylor Greene, knowing that if she runs, there's no way that they'll keep Georgia. Actually, they don't have Georgia right now. They have Warnock and Ossoff, but they want Georgia. Now, all three of them are saying they know that if Democrats win, Trump will be impeached again for baseless reasons. Now, I don't know what their so-called baseless reasons are, but reality is that if they win, Trump's going to be impeached.
If you haven't already heard about it, listen up. Donald Trump has 7 articles of impeachment against him. Democratic House Representative of Michigan says that Donald Trump is unfit to serve as our president and is a clear and present threat to our Constitution and democracy. Some of those articles of impeachment are obstruction of justice, abuse of power, bribery, and corruption. I think we all can agree that Donald Trump has done so many impeachable offenses since he's been in office. It's about time that our Congress stepped up and did something. He's been making money off of his presidency. He's been ignoring federal courts. He's been doing everything necessary to be impeached. But what did you expect? You got a 34-count felon in office.
We have breaking news right now. The first United States senator has called for Donald Trump's impeachment. Georgia Senator Jon Ossoff, a Democrat appearing at a recent town hall in Cobb County, called for Trump's impeachment, saying he strongly agrees with it, saying that Trump has done a number of impeachable offenses that have reached the threshold of past impeachments set by the House of Representatives. The threshold, remember, is a violation of high crimes or misdemeanors. Senator Jon Ossoff is just one of 100 to convict a president of to convict in an impeachment trial. You need 67. So, folks, this is still unlikely, but this is the first, right? Everything starts somewhere. And to impeach a president, you need to go through the House of Representatives, which needs to vote, and then you need to go to the United States Senate, where there will be a trial. Right now, there are pending articles of impeachment, I believe introduced by Al Green. They have gone nowhere, though, but this is the first senator calling for the impeachment.
So a news article popped up in one of my notifications, and when I read this article, friends, I cannot tell you the anger that welled up inside of me. So Sri Thanadar is a representative and I forget exactly where he's from, but he filed articles of impeachment against the orange shit stain. And this article says House Democrats are furious at congressman who launches, quote, waste of time impeachment proceedings against Trump. And I'm going to go on a bit of a rant, so I want you to stick around, but this rant is going to be educational. Right now, we have establishment Democrats literally doing nothing. We've got people on this app who are like, I'm a lifelong Democrat and I support them no matter what. And that's fine for you. But when we say that there are tools in the tool bag, things they can do, this is one of them. We are not dumb, and we know that filing articles of impeachment against this man is not going to get him impeached. We know that. But do you know what it does do? It notifies the American people who perhaps have turned off the news because everything is just too much and they don't know what's going on. There are people who don't know that their democracy is fucking attacked. And I mean, literally, do we have a democracy anymore? I can't say yes or no. I'm not even sure. But there are people who don't know where we stand with this current government. And when you file articles of impeachment, it's such a big deal that news outlets talk about it. It might be something that is mentioned in between, radio, the songs on the radio, and people get notified. And more people get pissed and they get in the streets and they join us in our resistance. And that's what we're talking about. Forcing the Republicans to vote no on feeding children, forcing the Republicans to vote no on saving Social Security and saving Section 8 housing for disabled veterans, forcing the Republicans into the spotlight for the shitty human beings they are. That's what Sri Thanadar is doing. So for you to call it a waste of fucking time, simply, and by the way, they were nameless. They didn't want to say who the fuck they were. Rightfully, because I'd be on your fucking ass. I'd be calling you day in and day out. So for you to say it's a waste of time tells me and every other American where we stand with you. Everything that gets done in Congress by the Democrats does not have to land in a win for it to be something pivotal and important. So for any Democrat out there who's wagging their finger and calling out shame for anyone doing something like what Sri Thanadar is doing, shame the fuck on you. Shame on you for sitting back, sucking off of the American taxpayer and doing nothing while democracy is attacked. Shame on you.
Breaking news, everybody. We now know that Trump suspending habeas corpus would be grounds for impeachment. Let's check it out. And that's not my opinion. That's the opinion of conservative legal superstar John Yoo. He believes that if President Trump suspends the writ of habeas corpus, or the right of prisoners to challenge the legality of their detention, it would be grounds for impeachment. Shadow President Stephen Miller said last week that the privilege of the writ of habeas corpus can be suspended in a time of invasion, and that this is an option we're actively looking at in order to address illegal immigration. Gosh, that guy must not be very fun to be around. Anyway, Yoo, an ex-clerk for Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas, a former Bush DOJ official and frequent Fox News guest, poured cold water all over the idea in an interview with the Dispatch's John McCormick. He said, quote, "Here you would have plausible grounds for impeachment. You would have a president who arguably arrogated the powers of another branch at a time when the provision doesn't even apply. So much stronger grounds for impeachment than Trump's first two rides on that rodeo. So if Trump knows what's best for him and his political career, he'll put a binky in Stephen Miller's mouth and let the idea of getting rid of habeas corpus go. He wouldn't want to look like he's uprooting the foundations of America, would he? Meanwhile, Trump could do anything and his base is like, yeah, I like that. Keep going, do whatever. I love you. I love you no matter what.
The very conservative Wall Street Journal, which is owned by the Murdoch family, Fox News, they are now saying maybe an impeachment would be good for the country. Maybe if Trump gets impeached, it might be a good thing. In an opinion piece that was published on Friday, the author wrote, quote, "A future Trump impeachment seemed all but guaranteed by last Wednesday morning. It seems only slightly less likely now. It may even be desirable to restore America's standing with creditors and trade partners. Pretty damning, especially coming from that publication. The author went on to insult Trump's tariff plan. He compared it to, quote, asking a chicken to give birth to a lioness. So right-wing media starting to turn on Trump. Few people starting to speak out.
All right, Trumpers, come and get me. Hey, listen, check it out. Donald Trump's impeachment is continuing to move forward in Congress. This could be the best thing that's happened to us in a long time as Democrats, is for him to get impeached again. It is coming. All the Democrats are going to vote for him to get impeached. There's a lot of Republicans that are going to. You can go check this out for yourself on MSNBC, Fox, your beloved Fox for MAGAs. Look, MAGAs, you've lost your talking points. You just have. Every time this man gets in office, this happens. He gets impeached. You guys thought you were voting for somebody that's going to help you? No, you've put somebody in there that has hurt the Republican Party, and this is what's going to continue to happen every fucking time you put anybody in there with the last name Trump. You ain't even had Republicans get impeached like you have Donald Trump. So it goes to show you, you thought that you were putting some good, holy God, Christian man in there, and they're already trying to impeach him. So I hope this continues to go through. I support it. I know all my Democratic friends support it. And listen, we need to get him impeached, get him the hell out of there, and get somebody in there that knows what they're doing, so maybe we can save this economy. MAGAs, thanks for screwing us.
This is day one of protesting in Washington, D.C. every day until Trump is impeached and gone. I'm standing outside the U.S. Capitol building where Congress meets because we can't accept this as the new normal. I don't think Trump is going to stop, but Congress has the power to stop him right now, and they choose not to. Every day, they watch him threaten judges, violate the Constitution, and destroy the lives of others, all while doing nothing and profiting off of it. If we stay frozen, we lose not only our democracy, but our future, our rights, and our voices. I'm out here because someone has to be. And honestly, we all should be. If this matters to you, please like this, share it, say something, join me. This is how we put pressure on Congress to finally do their jobs. This is how we start a movement. See you tomorrow.
Hey y'all, Brian here. So, America's on the move. Protests are erupting everywhere. State capitals, you name it, outside of Trump Tower. Every weekend there are more protests, and more people are joining it. Boston has had 100,000, Las Vegas tens of thousands. It's just millions and millions of people in every single state is rising up and protesting Donald Trump. And if you're wondering what this is all about, Google 50501 movement. That's a grassroots movement that started a little while ago, and they're getting momentum. And through them, you can find where your local protest is, and you can join. So yes, people are rising up, and they are making a difference. See, in order for Trump to seize power, he has to have people support him. Has to do illegal things for Donald Trump to give Donald Trump more power. Now, if they feel that Donald Trump won't be in power very much longer, they will not take the risk of doing that. But if they are certain that Donald Trump has the support of the people, then they will do whatever they can to curry his favor. And if that means breaking the law, that means breaking the law. But people are not taking it. Leaders are not taking it. Bernie Sanders and AOC, they are gaining momentum. They're getting more and more people. I think they're gearing up for 2026, 2028, if Trump even survives that long. Because in 2026, I'm pretty sure the Republicans are going to be out, and the Democrats will be in, and at that point, Donald Trump will be impeached, and he'll be in jail. So take heart. Don't be silent. You do not want to be silent. You want to have your voice, or if you are upset with what's going on with the Trump administration, find your local protest and join. Make a sign, get out there, hold an American flag. Even if you are protesting something else like deportation, if you're Social Security, state parks, whatever, get out there and join them. Have solidarity with your fellow protesters. Be peaceful. Don't turn into a mob. Be peaceful. Don't be like Trump supporters who riot. We do it the right way. once you riot, you're just a mob and no one listens to you. So do it the right way. Get out there and just show your elected officials that they better listen to you, or they will no longer be your elected officials. That's the way democracy works. Now, Trump right now is in some hot water too. See, he is going against the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court made a ruling about deportations that they were unconstitutional and that he was to stop. He is continuing to deport people without due process, and that's the whole point, is the due process. If you want to deport someone, you got to go to court. You got to be found guilty. Then you kick them out. American citizens, even more so. Now, when the executive branch, which is Trump, defies and violates the judicial branch's orders, that is an impeachable offense. So right now, he is doing acts that by themselves are impeachable. Unfortunately, he has a lot of support in the House. So until that changes, 2026, the impeachment may not go forward. However, more and more Republicans are getting upset with him, and more Republican voters are getting upset with him. Now, the Republican voters, if they're the ones who can really make the change. They're the ones who need to contact their congressman and say, look, or at least they're Republican, and say, look, you are my representative. You follow Donald Trump and you will not be my representative on the next time around. I will work against you. I will get everyone to be against you, and just hammer that. Just keep sending things to congressmen over, senators, representatives over and over, and just don't stop. Give them a flood of protests, and they will eventually listen. They'll have to, or they'll risk being out. Because if the whole country's against Donald Trump, will Donald Trump be able to protect them and keep them in office? No, they won't. Elon Musk is being indicted on several different things, including in the FCC, and so even the government's watchdog agencies is going after him on two different counts, and so we got the momentum. We need to keep pushing it, speaking out. I'm doing TikToks and other things. Those who don't want to get on social media, just go down to your local protests. Find out where they are. Drive an hour. Make a day of it. Go protest for a couple of hours. Sing songs, hold signs. Chant anti-Trump sayings. Then go have dinner. See a show. Come back to the protest some more. Then go home. We can do a lot. Don't think that the average person is powerless here. We are not powerless. When we're together, we are strong. Just keep that in mind. And that's really all I got to say. Fight and don't be silent. Do it legally. Can't stress that enough. Do it legally. If you like my video, please like it. And I would appreciate everyone to follow me. More followers mean more likely that these videos will be seen by more people who might need to hear it. You all take care, good luck, and fight the good fight.
Democrats have started the impeachment process against Donald Trump as Representative Al Green took to the House floor to announce that he will be introducing articles of impeachment against Donald Trump. Take a listen to what he had to say.
That the movement to impeach the president has begun. I rise to announce that I will bring articles of impeachment against the president for dastardly deeds proposed and dastardly deeds done.
Now look, I think impeaching Donald Trump would be the right thing to do. Certainly. However, this is not the way to go about it. I have been saying, and a lot of people have been saying, that Democrats have got to get on message. They have got to figure out how to speak to the American people. And suggesting that Donald Trump be impeached for dastardly deeds. He sounds like Bugs Bunny talking to one of the cartoon villains. What is he doing? It is time for Democrats to get together and decide who will speak for them and who is best to talk to the American people about what is going on right now.
Family, there is actually a program to ensure that Donald Trump is impeached, in 2025. And some of the allegations in the impeachment articles are abuse of power, corruption, like foreign bribery, where there is accusations that Trump accepted a free replacement of Air Force One jet from Qatar. There is also obstruction of justice. There are actually a lot of these allegations being tabled, by people against Donald Trump. And one of the people is a senator. I'll mention the name of the senator in a few. So here is actually a deeper look at the 2025 impeachment efforts against President Donald Trump, including political strategy, motivations, and broader implications. Number one to start with, we'll try to start with Shri withdrawn impeachment resolution. Who is Shri Thanadera? A freshman Democrat from Michigan. He's part of a progressive wing of the party. His move surprised many in Congress, And some of the things that he actually tabled in the Congress was abuse of power, including claims about Trump's alleged threats toward Canada and Greenland. The corruption and foreign bribery, accusations that Trump accepted a free replacement Air Force One jet from Qatar. Then there is obstruction of justice, where there is an alleged attempt to influence ongoing federal investigations. Violation of the emolument clause, suggesting continued profiting from international business interests. Then number two, we have the Al Green's renewed impeachment push. He's known from the consistent stance against Trump since 2017, pressing ahead with his own resolutions. Green's articles reportedly focus less on isolated events and more on alleged pattern of democratic erosion, accusing Trump of disregard for constitutional limits, normalizing threats against political opponents, and cultivating extremist movements. Green appears less focused on passage and more on moral messaging, using impeachment to spotlight what he sees as a constitutional crisis. Then you have the public sentiment and the 50501 movement. What is the 5051 movement? A viral progressive movement that references May 1st, 2025 as a symbol date for mobilization. Its goals goes beyond impeachment, advocating for electoral reform. They are going beyond the impeachment. They want to advocate for electoral reform, climate action, and ending Trumpism. A common dream-cited poll claims 57% of registered voters support at least beginning an impeachment inquiry. Many of Americans are tired. However, support is split sharply along partisan lines. 90% of Democrats in favor versus 10% of Republicans. Then there's the realistic outlook. Can Trump be impeached again? Do you think that the motion can actually be a successful one? Can Trump be impeached again in 2025? The short-term odds are actually very low. The House control, Republicans hold the majority. Democratic leadership focused on winning 2026 midterms, not symbolic impeachment flights. Bipartisan support, non-existent for now. Long-term possibility, if Trump's legal or international actions become more controversial, and if Democrats retake the House in 2026, the political calculus could shift, and ensure that Donald Trump actually gets out of office. And that would actually be a historical move, because now he'll be forcefully taken outside of the office. Guys, let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think about the impeachment of Donald Trump, considering how crazy it's been since he took over office. We've seen mass deportations, we've seen wrong arrests, from ICE officials who actually noticed later that they've actually arrested, American citizens. We are seeing now white people from South Africa, the white Afrikaners, given an opportunity to live, in America and access a lot of these privileges, including housing. Some of them will also be getting citizenship, permanent residency in America, while other people who've been staying in America, who've actually been voting in America, are actually risking to be deported by the government of Donald J. Trump. Guys, let me know in the comment section down below. Kindly like this video so that it can be recommended to other YouTube users, and I'll be very, very grateful. Last but not least, kindly do consider subscribing to the channel. We are currently on the road to 50,000 subscribers, and guys, I'll be very, very grateful if we push it to 50k subs soon. Thank you, and see you all in our next video. Goodbye for now.